And now it's time to talk to the production and creative team, part of the production and creative team of the film that we just saw, the wonderful film we just saw. I will invite back Tere Marichal, which I love to talk to Tere. So Tere, bienvenida nuevamente. And also Waldo Cabrera, who's Tere is the illustrator. Let me just say, Waldo Cabrera is the director and the producer of the film and the animator, and Alejandra Ramos, who was the voice, the voice of Cucarachita, one of the actresses. So let me read a little bit about Tere. Tere is a playwright, a puppeteer, a storyteller, illustrator, and an acclaimed actress and television personality known for her character that we all love in Puerto Rico, Maria Chusema, that was aired on the PBS affiliated Canal 6 in Puerto Rico. She has authored over 40 children's books and is the recipient of 2 Emmys and the Premio René Marquez. Tere is the illustrator, like I said, of Cucarachita Martina's musical adventure. Waldo Cabrera is 2-time Emmy-nominated journalist and executive producer of My Long Island TV. He's a multimedia producer at Centro, and Waldo produced, directed, and animated Cucarachita Martina's musical adventure. And last but not least, Alejandra Ramos. She is a playwright, an actress, director, and producer. She's the co-founder and artistic director of Teatro La Azotea, and she is the digital humanities and e-journal project manager at Centro. Alejandra voiced Cucarachita Martina in Cucarachita Martina's musical adventure. So welcome all, bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Primero que nada, congratulations, felicidades. I enjoyed the film. I'm pretty sure, based on all these comments that I in the chat, people love the film. So congratulations, Waldo, congratulations, Tere and Alejandra. So let's talk about the film. And this first question is for Waldo and actually for Tere too, because in the documentary of Pura, which is another amazing resource that Centro has offered the community, there's like some soft animation of the story of Martina, and Tere, you did those illustrations as well. And I was wondering if that was the origins of the idea of creating this animated film.
Well, yeah, we definitely knew that we wanted to animate the full version, but for the documentary, it was something that was done sort of as a B-roll filler. So it was done in a more simplistic way because we had a greater mission at the media team, and our mission was to tell the story of Pura Belpré, not necessarily to do the animation of Cucarachita Martina. But many years later, it's been quite a few years later, we decided to focus just on Cucarachita Martina, and we really went all out and got top talent and top from having a fantastic illustrator like Tere, to Alejandra and to Desmar Guevara, and just everybody involved. We really went all out to make sure that this was the best possible version that we can make. We're not Disney, but we definitely wanted to celebrate, Cucarachita Martina and everything has to offer. And my biggest challenge was keeping Tere Marichal's. She has there's a little flair. There's an amazing touch that she has with her illustrations. So I didn't want to go so far to get too technical, to go, too modern with it, because there's a certain innocence to the way she created the pieces. So it had to be, there was a balance between how much digitizing are you going to do to the images, and how much are you going to keep of what Tere did. And that was the little balance that I had to deal with in terms of, being true to what Tere created.
Wonderful. Tere, háblanos un poquito de tus ilustraciones and the process, and also, I love the fact that there was elements, criollo elements, la bomba, la plena. You can see the different, costumes, the different, rhythms. It was very enjoyable. Can you tell us a little bit about that and about your illustrations and the styles? And
I love the work Waldo did, because he is great, and when you work with an artist, you feel I feel very happy. It was a very interesting process because I want to be like primitive. I made so many drawings at the first, so many, looking for her face, the face of the other characters, and we work with a small budget. And but I love to work with small budget because then you create many things that maybe if you have any money you don't do it. But it was very interesting. The first drawings, all the character has European clothes. And they use some of the drawings from the first picture. But when I made the other one, they are dressed as plena. My Cucarachita, Ratoncito, is dressed as a nacionalista, black and white. And I am very clear, politically correct what I am doing. But in the second version, the characters were dressed menos Ratoncito as plena men. Ratoncito, we use the same drawings as in the first version that he was Spaniard. Because the text well talk about that, no, yes. And you have to respect the text of Raquel. I like to work with Raquel a lot. I love it. Yes,
yes, he also talks beautiful.
Work has to be a party, you know. You have to celebrate, you have to be happy. So I think this project we work with happiness. Sometimes Maria was a factor that was very difficult. Waldo and Raquel knows about that because my computer break down. Oh, I have so many problems, so many. But I want to agradecerles a ellos y al centro que hayan confiado en mí y que me hayan dado la oportunidad de work con uno de los cuentos que más yo he estudiado, porque soy una fanática de Martina. No es que yo sea una scholar, es que yo soy una fanática de los cuentos folclóricos de mi país y los estudio todos.
Maravilloso.
Gracias, de verdad. Igualdo, gracias. Y Raquel, gracias. Gracias infinitas, de verdad.
Maravilloso tu trabajo, Tere. Thank you and congratulations to you. Let's talk to Alejandra. Alejandra, ¿cómo fue hacer la voz de Martina? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Hello. Thank you, everyone that's joining in. All my colleagues, to everyone in all of the creative team behind this wonderful film. I'm so happy to have been part of it. Well, I come from a theater background, right? So, I mean, as a theater maker myself, when I was first handed the script for La Cucarachita, I was very happy. And again, I appreciate it so much. The process of recording Martina's voice was incredibly fun, both with the musical director, Desma Guevara, who's my friend and co-worker, and I love him so much. And also
Mario is so much fun.
Mario, yes. Oh my God, with Mario, who plays all the animals. He's still, I mean, obviously yes. So talented. So yeah, it was great. It was great. A great learning experience too. And I wanted to mention that because I do believe that, you know, imagination is key for a voiceover actor, or, you know, for just acting in general. But the story itself of La Cucarachita, it's so rich. It's so rich that it really makes it easier to, you know, navigate and give voice to this amazing character. And La Cucarachita is very important to me personally, just because, to give you an idea, many years ago, my mom put out a whole production of La Cucarachita to celebrate my first-year-old birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, the actors were my uncles. La Cucarachita was my sister. Of course, I saw the birthday party video later on. But when I saw it, I really noticed how happy and how engaged the kids and children and even adults were, you know? And so I truly believe this is a story that entire families can enjoy and learn from it. Yeah, and it,
Right.
you know, and this short film is a great example of how storytelling, music, theater can come together and just serve as educational purposes.
Very good. It's an amazing distant learning resource also for teachers and for everyone. Not
Right.
only entertainment, but also it's an amazing educational tool. Tere, you talked a little bit before about the relevance of Martina, the story of Martina, not only to Puerto Rican, but for everyone in general. And also, I would like you to talk a little bit about your two versions of Martina. You have two books dedicated to Martina. So,
Vale.
cuéntanos un poquito de la relevancia de Martina y also de tus libros.
Lo voy a enseñar bien rapidito. Este es Martina y el huracán, que lo hice mientras estuve trabajando en los refugios durante el huracán María, que iba a contar el cuento de Martina y los niños no lo conocían. Les iba a contar el cuento de María Sabida y los niños no lo conocían. Les iba a contar el cuento de Juan Pataleta y los niños no lo sabían. Entonces me dije, ¿sabes el peor huracán que nosotros hemos tenido? El huracán del olvido. Porque ese huracán una vez arrasa con todo, ese no perdona.
Wow.
Y entonces hice el de Cucarachita, Martina y el huracán, y añadí en este libro, pues, por ejemplo, toda una lista de al menos 60 personajes folclóricos que los niños no conocen, para que los vayan conociendo mientras leen el cuento, porque ellos están integrados en este cuento.
Qué bien.
No los puede integrar todos, pero la importancia histórica que tiene Martina para nosotros ahora en el siglo XXI, porque la gente piensa que el folclore es algo que está como, que es como de viejo, como que está atrasado. El folclore es, yo creo que la literatura más vanguardista y contemporánea que uno se puede encontrar. ¿Por qué? Porque el folclore va respondiendo al ir y venir de la sociedad. Por lo tanto, cuando tú recuerdas un cuento en tu infancia, que fue lo que le sucedió a Pura, porque el otro cuento que yo estudio de Pura es Catilangualante porque ella recordó ese cuento cuando vivía en Guayama. ¿Por qué los recordó? Porque los cuentos, cuando se te cuentan en tu infancia, se vuelven parte del fluir de tu sangre. Por eso es que el niño a quien se le cuentan cuentos aprende a leer más rápido que el niño a quien se le presenta el libro literario. Cuando la oralidad se le entrega al niño como parte de su desarrollo, como parte de su cultura, en este caso nosotros como puertorriqueños, yo te entrego los cuentos folclóricos que forman parte de nuestras raíces. Ese niño aprovecha ese fluir de conciencia, ¿verdad? Porque los cuentos se hicieron hace 200.000 años, contamos cuentos, ¿no? Y no se hicieron por casualidad. Se hicieron porque el hemisferio derecho y el izquierdo crearon redes internas. Esas redes internas, que son nuestro fluir del lenguaje, es lo que hoy llamamos las redes, ¿no? Por eso a esta nueva generación se le hace muy fácil el concepto de redes. No es porque son tecnológicos, es porque ya tienen en su interior esas redes que crearon los miles de contadores de cuentos que iban de un lugar a otro intercambiando los cuentos. ¿Cómo llega Cucarachita desde Persia hasta Puerto Rico? Mira, llegó por alguna razón, porque hubo otros cuentos que no llegaron. Martina nos llegó para que nos acordáramos sobre todo de esa travesía increíble que hizo una mujer migrante hasta llegar a nuestro país, porque nuestro país es una historia de migrantes. O sea, la migración forma parte de nuestras células, de lo que somos todos nosotros. Entonces, esa mujer migrante llega a Puerto Rico, se establece independiente, como ya dije, y demuestra a todos cuán poderosa puede ser la línea materna. O sea, porque Martina se enfrenta al patriarcado a través de los personajes, pero es una mujer que celebra la vida y aunque se le muere, en estas versiones no, pero en las versiones donde muere Pérez, ella entiende la razón de ser de la vida. Y aún en la muerte canta, porque en la vida y en la muerte hay una celebración humana. Martina es un cuento que nos humanizó. Y Pura Belpré para mí es la embajadora de los cuentos, la persona que se dio cuenta que tenía que entregar todo ese conocimiento que tenía, que había heredado en su memoria. Ya es ejemplo de lo que significa la recuperación de la memoria y el proteger la memoria. Entonces, tenemos que ver el cuento con una trascendencia filosófica, política, social, económica. No es simplemente un cuento que se cuenta a los niños. Cucarachita Martina es en realidad un cuento que forma la base para la creación de una sociedad luchadora, trabajadora, que ama el amor, que lo busca, que se celebra, que dialogan, que se cuentan, que se cantan, que utilizan la palabra para establecer una comunicación continuamente. O sea, yo creo que el valor de Martina todavía tenemos que trabajar mucho sobre eso y sobre su importancia desde un punto de vista antropológico, ¿verdad? Porque si ese cuento ha estado miles de años en el planeta Tierra es por una razón, no es por una casualidad. Y llegó a nuestra isla por una causalidad. Así que tenemos que celebrarlo. Ay, ahora yo no te oigo a ti.
He's muted.
Mute, I'm sorry, Tere, pero que yo digo, quisiera seguir escuchándote porque es maravilloso lo que nos estás diciendo, pero tenemos bien poco tiempo.
Yo siento el cuento con pasión.
Ya lo sé, y se nota, y por eso es que lo vivimos, y además la información que estás dando es maravillosa. Just one very short last question before we take some questions from the people that are for our audiences is for Waldo. Waldo, can you tell us a little bit about what's next, the work you do at Centro, un poquito de eso?
Yeah, so the media team, our job and our mission at Centro is to just bring to life and to bring to the public everything that Centro does, the research and the publications. So if you go to the cultural ambassadors, you'll be able to see documentaries about Pura Belpré, Dr. Frank Bonilla, Clemente Soto Vélez, Tato Laviera, and you can also on our YouTube channel, which is Centro PR, you'll be able to see our Puerto Rican voices. And that's the stories of Puerto Ricans all throughout the United States. We have visited every major city where there's a high concentration of Puerto Ricans. And you'll be able to see some really amazing stories of Puerto Ricans making a difference and succeeding here in the United States. So we encourage you to go see those stories.
Wonderful. Thank you, Waldo. Thank you, Tere. Placer, Alejandra. No se me vayan. Don't go away, because now we have some 10 minutes, only 10 minutes, and we have tons of questions. And I would like to also invite back Vicky and Raquel and Melinda if they want to join us as well. I actually am looking at the questions right now. There's a question for Raquel. Dice, how can teachers use this film and other arts in today's distant learning environment? Dr. Ortiz, yes.
There's so many ways. So when we did our guide is 15 pages, because just like Tere and Vicky, I love this so much. I focused on what they could do with language arts and in the social studies and in the music and art classes. But I would just tie to what we've been talking to with folklore and folktale and the oral tradition. So that's just a space that you can do so much with the social studies. And then with what Alejandra was speaking about with theater, and you, of course, Manuel, with all the wonderful work you've done. So taking these written words and making them come alive in a ton of different ways. And just with what Waldo said about our media team, taking this information and being creative with it. Our kids have phones, they can make movies, they can make animation, stop, go. So we gave you 15 pages. We gave you a handout to help the kids do the puppet show. And we gave you information, both parents and teachers. And now the sky's the limit. And like we've said, there's thousands of different versions of folklore. So let's make a couple more versions.
Very good. Thank you so much, Raquel. I'm trying to look at the questions. I think people are asking, are there any other works that you have come across addressing Afro-Puerto Ricans? It's a general question. Maybe Vicky, if you can help us with that, or even Raquel as well.
You know, I was thinking about that one. And nothing comes to mind. I don't know if Tere has some ideas or Raquel in terms of children's literature.
Well, not in terms of children's literature, but we do have a fantastic story about Tato Laviera, whose life and basically all his work was the reason why he wrote a lot of the things that he wrote was because of his connection as an Afro-Boricua. So you can take a look at the American poet, Tato Laviera, and it's a really good story. It's I'm really proud of it because I edited the piece.
Yes, very good.
I'm gonna quickly share. We have one of my books looks at the music of bomba, and I can share because it's part of our Cultural Ambassador Junior materials. So we've done a teaching guide and a caregiver guide for this book. So it's one of 5 books that we have available. There was one of the books is by Tato Laviera, Mayanito and his new friends. Another one is by Virginia Sanchez Coro, and we have a book by Judith Coffer as well. So please go online and you can see those books. And that gives you a little taste of some of the literature that we have for children and the materials we're making for that.
Wonderful.
Also Waldo mentioned the Puerto Rican voices, and there are 89 of those films, and in that we have the Caribbean Cultural Center, Afro Diaspora Institute, and Noel Quiñones, young Nuyorican poet, Afro Boricua, and you know, so much a breadth of expression. La Borinqueña as well.
That's right. So there's also, thank you, but there's some questions also about the process. I guess it's a question for Raquel and Tere and even Waldo. How was the process? Did you get together with the artists, with Tere? Can you talk a little, Raquel, can you talk a little bit about that process? Yes.
We have different pieces. So I watched the documentary Pura Belpré, and that's a gorgeous documentary. And I saw that art. And the true story is I went to Edwin and I was like, I want to do this. And then I kind of came into, I have to do this. And I reached out to Tere y ya somos amigas, creo yo, because it has been such a long process, because a lot of things happen between here and there, you know, and hurricanes and earthquakes and pandemics. So, but I was just lucky that I spoke with Tere. She was very generous and heard our call, and she did it out of a work of love. So that's my little piece of the story.
Very good. Tere, ¿tienes algo que decir de del proceso artístico? Ya dijiste.
Waldo.
Dale, Waldo.
No, it was great putting everybody together because we knew that we wanted to make sure that we had we had a limited budget. So we wanted to make sure that we found an artist to do all the male voices. And when we found Mario, it was like, oh, it was amazing. You know, when the Desmar Guevara told us this guy does voices, we're like, nah, all of them. And then on our first Zoom call, because we did all of this via Zoom, we did it during the pandemic.
Wow.
The whole thing. So Mario was in Puerto Rico, Alejandra was uptown, I'm on Long Island, you know, Ted is in Puerto Rico, Raquel is in Ohio. We just did this, you know, digitally. But that Mario, even to this minute, when I watch it, I can't stop laughing.
Mario, I know Mario very well. He's one of the actors in our company, and so he has played many different roles. And he's not only a good friend, but an amazing performer. So yes, and very funny as well. So
Manuel,
great.
I want to sneak in one last question for you, because I saw it, and I think as you know, your role here as representing Teatro Sea, somebody was asking what recommendations you have for infusing the arts into an remote learning environment. So, you know, so many kids are learning remotely. Do you have any ideas about that? We think the arts are so critical.
I think, I mean, there's a lot of resources nowadays because everything has gone, you know, virtual. But obviously, I believe, I mean, I don't want to plug in the work we do, but yes, we could be also Teatro Sea's programming could be also a resource for distant learning, for, to support parents, to support teachers as well. The work that Centro and all the materials that Centro provide is also another way of doing this. I think also we have to be careful because kids are also, because it has been a full year of virtual programming, they're a little bit saturated right now. So we have to be, because they're using the virtual, the screen for entertainment, for socialization, for education. I mean, it's too much. So what we are trying to do is to do programs that are not too long, very short, but to the point, offer activities. I mean, like right now we're working in schools, like the Centro is also doing, and actually some people are asking about, resources. I mean, this will be also for Melinda, and also asking if school could be ambassadors or individuals. I mean, people have questions about the program, and this is an amazing resource. But what I'm saying is, let's use the screen time carefully. There's a lot of resources. I'm also raising a kid. I'm trying to be able to make sure that I read actual books. It's important, for us to have books. And actually this is the upcoming book of Martina that we're actually going to be publishing. Is coming in 2 months. So it is important for the kids. I mean, I believe that it's important for the kids to look at a book as well, and to hear a parent or a teacher reading to them. So I don't know if that answered the question, but I just will ask, let's yes.
Can I add to that? We do have some resources that at the beginning of the pandemic, we at Centro, normally what we do is that we go to libraries and schools, and
yes.
we have book readings.
Yes.
So because obviously immediately we knew that wasn't going to happen, we did an entire series of book readings, the children's books that are in the Cultural Ambassadors Program. So all of those books, you can also, they have an accompanying video that Raquel Ortiz read, and they've been very well received by libraries really across the United States right now. So that's a great resource.
Right, and the fun thing with that was Waldo worked his magic. We were doing it with the camera like everyone is, and then he popped in the instruments and he had things dancing around. And that's where this kind of started, with the words on the screen, so it could be as interactive as possible. But of course, it's hard, and we're all trying to figure it out. And I think the special thing that we're trying to do right now is have things for parents as well, because you as a parent, me as a parent, everyone that has children in their lives, it's been tough. So
it's tough.
We're just trying to bring them joy and give the parents a little bit of a break, because I was with my son for like 10 months for 24 hours a day.
That's right. I continue being 24 hours a day. I mean, but even here in this screen, which is amazing, the work that Raquel through Centro, and also her own personal work, Tere, the series that she has also online, what we do in Teatro Sea, we also have storytelling, a lot of things. We just finished a festival basically dedicated to Pura, which was until the end of February, and all that's still online, so people can actually go to like the web pages or the social media pages and find all these resources. So let's continue producing and hopefully soon we will be able to combine the virtual experience with a presential experience, which I think is very important. But I do encourage parents and teachers to encourage the actual reading of a book. It's very important as well. So I am over a minute. I followed my agenda, which was pretty, to the dot. I really want to thank all our speakers. It's really, we could keep talking, and because Pura and Martina, they're just amazing themes for us to discuss. This is not only the beginning, we'll continue doing our work individually, and also the work that Centro does is extremely important. So Melinda, first of all, Pérez, gracias, Waldo, Alejandra, Vicky, Raquel, thank you so much. And well, Melinda va a ser el cierre de todo esto. Un abrazo de parte mío. Please stay safe and stay well. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you, Manuel. And thank you everyone for joining us for the film premiere and presentation of Cucarachita Martina's musical adventure. Special thanks to our panelists and presenters, and teaching material for librarians, teachers, parents, caregivers can be accessed by registering for the Puerto Rican Heritage Cultural Ambassador Program. And you can go to the website centropr.hunter.cuny.edu. And like we mentioned, the link is provided in the chat section. Please visit our events page for upcoming programming online. And thank you again for watching. Hasta la próxima.
You don't get an opportunity to learn this in public school.
Every time I come, I learn something new about our history.
We should take an initiative in educating ourselves as much as possible.
You learn so much. It covers all sorts of time periods. Everyone should do it.